Welcome to the Sound Advice YouTube channel. One of the things that makes a great actor great is their ability to make you feel as if you were right there with them. For you to escape the realm that you are currently in and to become immersed in the dramatization in which they're delivering. You know, a great actor can make you feel sad during a sad drama, make you cry throughout the scenes, make you really feel as if you are attached to the characters. Or jovial in a movie that's supposed to make you happy and like a feel-good movie, or laugh during a comedy. You know, when you stop realizing that it's a movie and you are immersed and captivated by the story, then the actor has done a great job. And we've seen over the course of time where actors have become more than just a storyteller, but they're able to help move along the norms and the structures of society. They become elevated into a higher task to where they are pushing social norms. And we see that in a lot of different shows that we're watching, whereas if they're having a play on what is actually going on in reality. And we see that with the current infectious disease that is out there. Well, you'll see it in your favorite shows like Grey's Anatomy or 911, or pretty much almost any show right now that is trying to stay current with the times. They'll have events that are transpiring today. So I was sitting down with my wife. She was watching the television show Grownish with Yari Shahidi and a few other cast members. And I want to say I sat through 3 of them. And through those 3 shows that, you know, went from episode like 4 to 5 to 6, I started noticing that they were really bringing in the Black Renaissance. And what I mean by that is they were trying to get you to understand, based off of what these Cal U students were experiencing from the day-to-day interactions with their peers, and have you to feel as if they too, in a fictitious show, were having to deal with the problems of society. And through their relation of taking things that you normally may have to deal with, they were able to present to you the narrative on why Black Lives Matters is so important. Because they made it seem as if their characters also had to deal with that, and then tied that into the marchings and the protesting that we see daily, whether it's in, I shouldn't say daily, but that we have seen over the course of time, whether it was in your immediate community or you saw through the television narrative that they pushed. But what I want to do today is kind of show you the hypocrisy in the Black Lives Matter movement and how it's presented to us, the masses, to be able to take it in and produce it in a way that your skin tone, your skin color should define a mindset, when really it's a predefined culture, right? It's your background, it's where you come from, that is usually the thing that changes your mindset or molds your mindset. But it's not that everybody with a certain pigment of skin color should all think the same, right? I think that's very ludicrous to believe that just because you have a skin tone or a skin color or a skin pigmentation, that you should think as everybody that's of that collective. I think the Most High has given us all a brain that we can think. We have cognitive functions that allow us to understand and feel the things around us. And based off of our own experiences, do we develop a sense of what things are our own reality. Now, we have the true reality, but we also have our own reality. And we try to align those things based on wisdom to get us to a certain outcome. Remember, wisdom is obtained over time based upon experiences that you've had, and then also the Most High giving you the ability to understand what it is that you need to do to be in the best possible position, right? Because there's a lot of us that have a smart mind. We're able to take things in, we're able to perceive things, we're able to understand things quickly. But it's with that interaction with everyday life The Most High gives you that third dimensional perception of understanding what you must do for the best possible outcome for you, yourself, and your family. But I want you to listen to how, or listening to the reason rather, why looting and rioting and pillaging is important, as they're expressing this to a white Caucasian woman. And try to get an understanding of the mentality that they have and why they believe what it is that they're saying. Let's go ahead and listen.
Okay, I'm not so worried about the destruction of property. Come on, the looting and burning of people's businesses is not going to help hold racist cops accountable.
Of course, it's not going to help hold them accountable because nothing holds them accountable. That's exactly why this is happening. It's the last resort for people who have just been ignored for too long. Martin even said that riots are the language of the unheard.
Okay, Coretta. Looks like Aaron's been serving you the D and that knowledge.
Right, look, I obviously understand that human life is more valuable than property. I don't know, I feel sorry for the small business owners who built their livelihoods from nothing, and now some opportunists are using this man's death as an excuse to destroy that.
So the mainstream liberals would want you to believe that rioting and looting is the language of the oppressed. They want you to believe that rioting and looting is the only viable option that is left. But one of the things that we fail to remember or to even think of is that one of the greatest freedoms that we have right now is the freedom of choice. As we see things transpire day to day, we're starting to realize that the government is wanting to take that choice away. But as of right now, right, you have the ability to choose what to do. And one of the problems that most people have is, especially when it comes to this Black Lives Matter, is coming up with viable solutions where you sit down and you have a plan of action in where you're trying to achieve a goal. Because anarchy, rioting, destroying things is not necessarily a solution. It's just an action of a spoiled child at this point. It's kind of how I see it. You want to throw a fit and not be held accountable for your actions because you feel like you haven't been heard. But we got to go to the root. I believe as a quote unquote black man, before you can get other communities to respect you, before you can get other skin pigmentations to respect you, before you can get other people out in the world to respect you, you have to learn to respect yourself. If you change the outlook people have on you, and this is just talking from a person to person. If you walk in a certain way with a certain look, you're going to get treated based upon how you're perceived. But if you walk in righteousness, people have to interact with you at a different way. People will have to try to figure you out. But when you walk in as an anarchist, somebody that's ready to destroy things, well, you're going to be taken like that. And that's one of the things that the quote unquote Black Lives Matter movement fails to see, is that you got to sweep under your own front door before you try to sweep around everybody else's. You can't determine how somebody else is going to look at you. But what you can do is make sure your yard is kept clean. What do I mean by that? That means that black on black crime has to be as important as black on white or other demographics hurting your own race. As long as we continue to lift up rappers, as long as we continue to lift up the drug culture, as long as we continue to lift up those things that degrade us, how can you expect any other community to take you seriously? And I know a lot of brothers out there who are educated, who work hard, have built careers and businesses and things of that nature, live an upright life. But unfortunately, the things that get the most attention of the quote unquote black community is the things that you do negative. So it's very important that you begin to tell your own narrative and not allow people to tell it for you. Let's continue.
Okay, my dad built one of those small businesses. But when it comes to saving black lives, best believe Kermit wouldn't mind getting his food truck destroyed. So if something needs to get burned down.
So we hear one of the friends of Yara Shahidi. Sorry, I don't really know their names inside the show because I don't watch it enough. But we hear one of the characters tell a white Caucasian woman that my dad is one of those that has built a small business and he wouldn't mind allowing his business to get destroyed, his food truck rather, be destroyed if it meant saving black lives. But the question has to then come back is, how does getting your dad's food truck destroyed by black people or by the Black Lives Matter movement end up saving black lives? These are the questions that need to formulate in our mind is, how is destroying something within your own community saving black lives? And it's easy for us to speak for another individual when we didn't have to go through the laborious act of building a business. Anybody that has built a business spent time in the trenches working it from just an idea to then having a product, then to getting customers, and then to doing it over and over again and figuring out how to automate it or to add to it to allow it to grow. Anybody that spent that amount of time evolving a business would not be so simple-minded. But it's easy for those that have been given things and hadn't had to work through the trenches of achieving a goal. It's easy for that individual to say that. And as this white lady is listening, she's looking dumbfounded like, that doesn't make a bit of sense of what you're saying. I'll allow her to continue.
So if something needs to get burned down or get looted to shake things up, then so be it.
I don't know. I'm just baffled. So you guys are cool then?
So she's saying, I don't know. I'm baffled because she knows that logically this does not make sense. Those two can't coincide. Destruction of your own does not create destruction of your own. You destroying your own does not create a new sense of mindsets for other demographics. What it does tell them is that you have no plan of action, but all you're doing is throwing a tantrum and hoping that people will hear you. I'll let her continue.
Oh, I'm just baffled. So you guys are cool then with the looting and rioting?
Not cool with it, but you choosing to focus on the looting and rioting is a part of a long-standing history of racist thinking.
So I'm going to stop it right there because the back and forth that they have about whether or not the black friends believe that the white friend is racist or not, based on her not agreeing with looting, is something very arbitrary. But what I do want to focus on is that they brought up the main focus of looting, but told the white individual, once she said that you don't think rioting and looting of your own community is a bad thing, they said, well, you're choosing to focus on that. That's all you're choosing to focus on because that is your white privilege to just focus on that. But you're not focusing on the injustices. But I'm thinking as I'm watching that there's more than one injustice going on. Yes, an unarmed black individual was killed, right? Based off of this narrative. They haven't really identified which one they're referring to. So I'm not going to go in and just think of the hypothetical situation there because they have a list of people that they show faces of. But we'll go with their narrative. A black individual was killed by a black unarmed individual was killed by a white cop. So they said that you should focus on the white individual killing the unarmed black man versus on the rioting and looting. And it's almost as if the premise is, because you have wronged me, don't get mad at me if I do something wrong. Because you have killed the black man, the things I do that you may say, well, that's illegal, that's wrong, that's not right, that's improper, don't look at those things. But it's only because you have white privilege that you could even focus on those things. You're not focusing on our pain and our hurt. But I wonder, are you really even focusing on the pain and the hurt, or are you taken advantage of? Are you an individual that wants to take advantage of a situation and do what it is you want to do without any accountability? But we get the answer to that as we get to the latter part of the video, because a person that speaks out of the side of their mouth with two ideas, whose thoughts are not aligned in wisdom, they will always show you that what they say and what they mean are never aligned, that there's always a contradiction that's weighing in the balance. So let's see this contradiction that is going on. I'm going to play the audio for you, since I can't show you the video without a copyright strike.
Well, this was not what I thought it was at all.
This is everything I thought it would be. What? I didn't loot this. I'm just taking advantage of the homie's 5-finger discount.
And there it is. So she's sitting back with the whole massage kit, a thermal that plays MP3 music, and living a good life, right? Enjoying the pleasures. And she's saying that she didn't loot this, but she's just taking advantage of the homie's 5-finger discount. And that's right there what it is nail in the coffin, is that there are people out there, and the majority of people out there, who don't really care about a cause, but they just want to take advantage of a situation. They just want to take advantage of a situation and throw an umbrella up and saying, well, this is happening. People are doing this to us, so we should be allowed to get away with this. And that's what it comes down to. But, I think that at any point in time, whenever the media is trying to present you a narrative, it is your best to do your due diligence, to take a step back and to think about what it is that you're trying to be shown, that what it is that the message that is on display. What is it that they're trying to get me to understand and believe in? And once you understand the what, then you got to ask the question, well, what is the why? Well, the why is plain. The why is trying to get you to be up in arms, to feel like there should be no stability. There should be no one telling you how to do things, when to do things, or what to do. That you should be your own individual, your own God, your own boss, right? And if some things got to get destroyed for a fake hearing, if things got to get broken for a fake hearing, well, then go ahead and do that. And when I say a fake hearing, these people out there who are preaching Black Lives Matter don't really care about that, because if they did, they would start at their home. If they really cared about Black Lives Matter, they would be doing everything they can to develop their communities right in front of them. But instead, they want somebody else to do it for them. They want people to arbitrarily start loving them without them having to do any work besides kicking and screaming. And if you don't agree, well, then you're just racist. As what we see, Yara Shahidi told her Caucasian friend. Well, you don't understand because you are able to hide behind your white fragility. You're able to hide behind your white supremacy thinking. You're able to hide behind all the things that give you your rights that I don't have. But in reality, we all have the same rights. Am I saying that there are no bad cops out there? Well, we know that there are bad people in every single environment, including the Black Lives Matter movement. There are those who do things that are for unrighteous intentions or for their own gain. in every group, in every sect. And we got to make sure that we're not following into these traps, because all they are pitfalls and traps that allow you not to see what's really going on, so that you can make true solutions for yourself. True, wise decisions for yourself based upon a outlined plan of action of what you want, how you plan on getting it, and what it is that you, not anybody else, but what is it that you are going to do to achieve that thing that you say that you want for your community. You're not asking for handouts. You're not asking for other communities to change the way they're thinking. You're going to develop yourself to a high level to where if they want to see it at the table, they have to interact with you differently. Because really, you have more power than what you think you do. And then as you combine and unite, well, the flame continues to grow. But we see right now, because we've decided to unite under the banner of stupidity and things that just don't make sense or align themselves in logic and reasoning, that we have so much chaos and anarchy going on. And I fear that as we continue to not want to hold ourselves accountable, we'll continue to fall down further, and further below our counterparts out there. But anyways, let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching the Sound Advice channel. If you like what you're seeing or hearing, please go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, leave me a comment down below. I plan on answering those comments because we're building a community here. And hopefully it's just one individual out there that says, I've got something from this. Now that'll make me happy. One other thing that I like about doing these videos is that it allows me to really focus on developing my oratory skills, that I'm able to become more concise. And like I said in my welcome video, it allows me to go back and look at the archives of videos that I've done, see where I started off and where I plan on going. But anyways, guys, I know this is a long video as I'm trying to express what it is that I feel and how I feel about this piece. Hopefully you guys continue to rock with me, and I plan on bringing more content to you guys in the future. Thank you. Love each and every one of you guys. I'm out.